AMD stock is up 27% today after a massive run into new highs. We were trading TSSI. We just wrapped up our daily live trading session. It's in this consistent uptrend. We bought the dip and it's been consolidating from left to right. We're looking for a 5 to 20% increase. If you ever want to join our daily live trading sessions, they happen Monday through Friday at market open, and it's the second link in the description down below. Let's jump into AMD. So AMD stock made a monumental move up to $220 a share. And this morning we saw this big green candlestick basically shooting up to all-time highs. Was it all-time highs or right around all-time highs as they've continued this trend? Now, if we take a look at AMD from a market perspective, we've been watching a few things that make sense for why they're growing so much. If you search AMD stock today, they just signed a multi-billion-dollar deal with OpenAI. So this is expected to be in the tens of billions of dollars in revenue. And AMD's stock is up 75% in the last 6 months. You can see that they continue to build out their data center contracts. Now, with AMD being where it is, we've looked at their market cap, 338 billion. We actually see them as a top competitor to an NVIDIA company that's at over $1 trillion. So we could see them potentially get into those levels. At least in my opinion, I believe that's quite possible. When you look at the level of focus on different markets, though, AMD is not just going to be partnered here with OpenAI. They also provide the microchips for Starlink. That's right. The SpaceX company that is providing internet that's running this video right now. Even you can see some videos here that we have where we did some AMD and Starlink. It's going to take over the world, we said, and some of those are our top performing videos. You can see that we're mentioned there on the channel. Thank you guys for over 28,000 subscribers, all the amazing support. It's been great. So when we're looking at AMD, you look at the financials we've seen getting into higher highs, revenue increasing up to 25 billion in 2024 and on track to surpass that above 30 billion in 2025. So revenues basically up 30% year over year. The balance sheet is up as well, with their assets surging to $74 billion, and currently they're valued at about 338 billion. So the market of data centers we see now at an all-time high. They're at a resistance level, and we know that this level is going to be around $225. Then you have the previous resistance here that is right around this level, which is about $185 a share resistance, and resistance back in August, which is most likely to act as the next level of support. Maybe they pull down to 185, but right now they're so bullish with this new OpenAI deal that potentially we see them continue this trend. But we do see them start to pull back from 227, potentially eyeing down to that 200 to 185 range. So do watch, a correction could be imminent after that massive surge on AMD. But when we're looking at AMD, the thing that caught our eye was this recent acquisition of this company that's called Bream. And AMD back in June acquired Bream, and this is an acquisition of a compiler and AI software, experts with expertise in machine learning, AI inference, and performance optimization. And AMD said, this acquisition strengthens our foundation for long-term innovation. It reflects our strategic commitment to AI, particularly to the developers who are building the future of intelligent applications. It is also the latest in a series of targeted investments following the acquisitions of Silo AI, Nod AI, and Mipsology that together advance our ability to support the open source software ecosystem and deliver optimized performance on AMD hardware. We've been talking about this for months, and it's our top holder. In fact, AMD it's my number one holding. And part of the reason why is because of the moves they make. Starlink satellites. I see them fly over my house all the time. They're building tremendous momentum in that company, and Starlink is powered by AMD chips. Data centers. Most companies, not just OpenAI in this case, but companies like Apple, and Microsoft and Tesla use AMD to run their companies. Then you look at the recent acquisition of Bream. This is why we were focusing on it. When you really look at Bream, and this is from a while back before the acquisition, they compared Bream running on AMD's Instinct GPUs, and versus also NVIDIA GPUs, and how they put together this long context large language model inference that is running not the SG-Lang here, but their inference that they've created. So SG-Lang is the most popular, and then Bream is what they're running here. And if you look on the left, we talked about this. Bream was creating faster responses from AI. See the response from AI? Much faster outputs, or the same GPUs, or the same, in this case, they're running on AMD, coming out with faster production of the models. The responsiveness is huge on the left. Okay, so when you looked at Bream being compared and benchmarked against SG-Lang or popular inferences, you could see that the large language models that Bream was developing were the VLLM throughput versus VLLM on the MI 300s was higher and better on almost every single output. Even in this case, TTFT. Okay, so relative here to Bream, you could see Bream lower is better. They were beating on almost every benchmark. And so this company was just acquired by AMD back in June. And we kind of saw that coming there with that acquisition. And we've seen their financials increase as they doubled down on data centers. So AMD, that paired with the Starlink satellites that we've been covering for a while, that's for some reason, nobody's talking about this. But if we've been talking about it since last year, but if you really look at the reasoning behind an AMD surge today, it's not just the data centers or the OpenAI deal. It's also cumulative of the same reason that if you pulled up a company like T-Mobile, after they partnered with Starlink, back here in January of 2022, or somewhere in here, right around January 2022, this dip. And they've gone up. They went up 160% after that Starlink partnership. Now, AMD partnered with Starlink, right, back here around November of 2024. So right here, October, November. And they were at $93 a share. And since that partnership with Starlink, aside from the data centers, aside from the sales of their GPUs in general, they're up 160% at one point today. So we got to look at the patterns. We got to look at the things that determine why stocks go up. And to me, this move makes total sense. It's very similar to why, we see Black Sky do well or Redwire start to do well recently. And it's really just a matter of identifying what value is going to be created in the marketplace based on the moves they make. And that is the fundamental play for AMD. Could you have predicted this move from a technical perspective? Almost impossible. It was really a fundamental shift that surged the stock up to these levels. Now, we've had some projections come out, especially over in the Mercatus app that we've been using. And for the most part, the projections have been extremely bullish. If we pull up AMD, and we can run it on even on the OpenAI platform. So literally getting analysis of OpenAI, potentially from analysis from AMD using OpenAI that is running on AMD chips. So AMD is analyzing their own stock along with all of the proprietary data sources we include, like the SEC data and the insider trading and all that stuff. But let's take a look. Couple things to note too recently in the machine. It's not going to get much better than this on pricing. So you can see a slight correction from this massive surge. Okay, that's expected over the next few hours, which makes sense. We did see it correct down from $227 down to 209 now, expecting another 3% today. But how does the next 6 months look? Look at that, even more bullish. Okay, even more bullish on the next year of getting up and holding that $220 or $230 price point, according to the AIs that we have here. Now, we also, the reason I say that we added some new stuff, we're adding in community chat. Ooh, that's going to be really cool. Community chat here down around with AMD. And we added Grok this last month along with Claude and Gemini. So if you're looking to use these models with our Mercatus mapping technology and use the best AI models in the world, there is no better time to be looking at this machine. We are using the best data that these models otherwise don't have and integrating them into the analysis and projections for the company. So again, AMD, kind of getting this outlook here based on all of that analysis. So if you want it and you missed it, it's the first link in the description below to grab your access. Now it's advanced models. You go to that video, it shows through the amazing results that people are getting. We had one testimonial over 400K in 3 weeks. Tremendous. That blew our team's mind. Like that was like, whoa. And we've also had some really good initial use cases that you can use as an investor to save time and simplify your analysis with AI. It doesn't have to be more complicated. In fact, this platform makes it easy to use AI and also see how, let's say, companies are connected like quantum. I can open this up and get an analysis. Oh, look at that. We have IonQ here and we can get an analysis. It's coming along. So if you want to grab it, there's still a deal there. First link below takes you to the video. If you want to tune on in or get access, it's the first link in the description in that video that's in the first link in the description, if that makes sense. So go check it out. Have the AI on your side and use AMD GPUs to help you analyze stocks. Appreciate you all. If you have comments on AMD, comment them down below. And remember, with that deal on the machine, if you're a stock mate, send me a message because we do have a special offer for stock mates on the machine right now. And we don't know how long it's going to be open. Not for long. It's going to be closing soon. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.